D.L. Hughley breaks the news. CNN, Saturday night at 10, Sunday night at 11.
In a published letter to President Obama, Reverend Al Sharpton calls attention to the last great civil rights battle facing the country. He's here now to explain how we can reach equality in our schools. Please give it up to Al Sharpton. Now, you called the education the last great civil rights battle, and you assert that you believe charter schools are one of the key components.
I think charter schools, school choice, period. But the overall quest for accountability. I think that when you look at the fact that we have so many young people going to school and they can't read and write, many of them not graduating. A friend of mine, James M. Toomey, who used to be a big musician, he's a radio announcer now, he showed me the data where, this government data, 53%, only 53% of African Americans are graduating high school. Right. So how are we going to get the next Barack or the next Michelle Obama if we don't stop and say, wait a minute, administrators, principals, teachers, we all have got to be held accountable on why these schools are not working.
I think if we paid our teachers what they were worth, literally, treated them like how valuable that they are, I think that would go the furthest.
I think you need both. I think charter schools are very good because I think it gives people options. I think that you can be creative, you can adjust hours. But I think the paying of teachers, right. They're underpaid, and I think you ought to give incentives for better performing teachers. Suppose if you gave teachers an incentive to go into neighborhoods that are so-called trouble, and they would even make more money as they deliver. We give bonuses on Wall Street. We don't give bonuses in schools. And I think that we've got to invest in raising education. I agree with you.
One of the things I was reading your letter, and I thought back to when I was a kid. When I was a kid, one of my teachers lived on my street. But if you really live and have to see those children grow up and you have to be involved in their lives in all aspects, I think it would contribute. I had to walk past my teacher every day, and I promise you I could tell when I was in trouble because I'd come home and her car would be parked in my driveway, and I'd be, damn, Miss Francis is there. But
I think that's very important. You know, a well-known educator, Dr. Adelaide Sanford, was telling me how we must have teachers that understand the kids. A lot of teachers have no connection to the environment and the culture that the kids come out of. A lot of teachers have the attitude, and this is only some, because most teachers are exceptional and take great danger, but the ones I'm concerned about are the ones that come in with the mindset, well, these kids are trouble and they can't learn. No, every child can learn. We have to find the right teacher to match with that environment and make education work. If we don't close this achievement gap, we have a very, very dismal future.
You're absolutely right. And I think everybody can learn, but me. I couldn't have learned. There was nobody that could help me, I promise you. But I promise you, like my
you did all right, DL. You know, you did all right.
Touche. But I think in addition to all of that, isn't a personal responsibility, because I tell you what, there are a lot of black children who want to do well in school, and if they do well in school and they're educated and they're trying to further themselves, they'll hear you acting white, or why are you doing that? Like, I remember I was in school and I changed my grades in the 8th grade. I changed my grade because I wanted to have a good summer, and I changed all my grades, AEE everywhere. Miss Williams knew I had done it, and she called me to the office. She said, look here, I'm gonna tell you what, you're gonna go to all those accelerated classes that you say you got an A in, and either you're gonna pass them and I'll let this go, or you'll fail and I'll tell your mama what happened.
Well, I think you're right. I think you're right.
I've never seen so many Asian kids in my life. I promise you, I'm like, where do y'all go to school at? I've never seen you here before.
No, you're right. Parenting, I think you hit a key. I think it's very important, because I think that we've got to change this responsibility issue in our community. And I think at opportune time, that's why National Action Network and I are raising the profile on it now. With Barack Obama in, Michelle Obama in, you no longer can run around acting like it's cool just to be a thug or a knucklehead. We can be president. Right. So don't be trying to I have 2 daughters, don't be trying to rap to my daughters if you can't at least think on a presidential level or a CEO level. We've got to raise the bar of expectations. But I think a lot of it, though, is we can't also just blame the system. I mean, I've spent all my life fighting the power, and will continue to. But at the same time, we've got to do our part. The teacher cannot take care of the fact that if you're not home, making sure they do the homework, making sure that they care about themselves and have self-esteem, you can't put it all on the teachers. And I think that we've got to take a lot of our excuses off the table and say, okay, yes, there's still a lot of unfairness, but it's been more unfair than this, and we made a way anyhow. We got to stop jive now and excuses, and we have to excel, and we've got to make these kids understand they're expected to excel.
I used to not understand the value of education. I really didn't. I didn't learn how to read well till I was out of school, and I would be on the road, and I would read newspapers and stuff. I would always pray to God, I don't know what I'm going to be, but God, help me be something. I want to be something. I just want to count. And I think that if people could see that, I'm a dude who literally didn't get out of 10th grade, and I'm on CNN doing something I love. And you see a president of the United States came from a single-parent home who literally is the leader of the free world.
That's right.
You can't tell me there ain't nothing you can't do. I won't believe it. I won't believe it.
And we got to get that message out.
I won't believe it.
And let me say this. Parenting has nothing to do with their education. It has something to do with their knowledge and pushing you. My mother grew up in the segregated South in Alabama. She didn't finish school. And she'd make me do my homework, telling me every night, because I couldn't do it don't mean you couldn't. In fact, you better do it. And she watched me walk across stage when I graduated to Tilton High School in Brooklyn, proud, because she never took that trip. And I owed it to her to get that degree, to get that diploma and go on. So I think that in many ways, we've got to tell our children, not that you ain't nothing, your daddy wasn't nothing, you'll never be nothing, but that whatever we wasn't, you can be. And I'm going to fight for you to be able to fulfill what I could never be.
Now, I understand, and I found this hard to believe, but you and Bush are teaming together on education.
No, well, I went to his conference. Let's not go too far. I went to his, had a conference.
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Bush and education shouldn't be in the same sentence. That's like an oxymoron. Like with that son of kids, you ain't got to learn. You can still be president. No, I'm just kidding.
But I went to his conference on No Child Left Behind, and he commended us for at least dealing with education.
Right.
I commended him for raising the issue. I don't agree with all of the policy, and I don't think he totally funded. Sometimes they left No Child Behind, they left the money behind.
Right.
But at least we started the achievement discussion, and I was surprised that he had such kind words to say, and I think he was surprised that I came. Now, I disagreed with him on every issue that he's come out with, but I put it this way. I thought about it late one Saturday night, and I turned on CNN, and I said, if DL could stand up for Blagojevich, I can at least talk to Bush.
Reverend Al Sharpton, everybody. I don't think he did nothing wrong, man. I don't.